Hey guys, welcome to techENT. I'm Jeevan and you're here for our sorta kinda long-term review of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Let's go over first impressions first. You've seen our unboxing of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. If you haven't, click here. You know what comes in the box, and like always, it's a very minimalist approach. You have your USB cables, and that's about it. The thing about it is, this has been one of my most anticipated and exciting phones to review. And that is simply because, first impressions, I thought it was going to be more of the same. But it has a good heft to it. It also comes with just enough improvements to make a huge difference when it comes to your user experience. That's excluding Galaxy AI. And that's the reason why I was actually pretty excited to review this phone. So since we're already talking about what the first impressions are, let's talk about its design. The Galaxy S24 Ultra comes in a very flat design. If you notice, your screen is not overflowing over the edge anymore. Instead, Samsung has opted for a really flat design, which makes sense given that a lot of us are going to end up using the S Pen on this phone. And your curved displays kind of didn't make sense when it came to drawing or writing on the edge of the screen. That said, Samsung did not change too much when it comes to ergonomics. I still enjoy holding this phone. It doesn't feel as if it's trying to cut off my fingers. It has enough heft that it reminds you you're there. And the one thing that it actually does that I appreciate is that when it goes into your pockets, it doesn't feel as if something is going to break or something is going to poke you. And I think that is partially because of the heft that comes from the titanium that is being used here. Now, we're already talking about the outsides. Let's talk about the display. Samsung is using a AMOLED 2X panel on the S24 Ultra. Yes, it's the same panel that they've used in the past few years, but it's better tuned this year and it covers 100% of the DCI P3 gamut. Again, the Ultra comes with the highest resolution of all the S24 series phones. It comes with a QHD Plus resolution and the display refreshes at 120Hz. Which makes all the difference when it comes to reading, interacting with the phone, and most importantly, gaming. Since I'm already talking about gaming, let's just jump into performance. This phone performed like a dream. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on this phone is so optimized that number one, you have better battery life, and you actually have better performance on the phone overall. You're talking about things like swiping through screens, using multitasking, which was something I really did a lot on this phone. I use split screen, pop-up screen, even floating notifications, and it did not manage to bog down the phone. Even if it did, it wasn't to a point where I could notice it and I wanted to reset the phone. That said, this particular phone, when it comes to gaming, games like a dream. Sweet dreams are made of these. You've seen our reviews of gaming phones, and arguably it is on par, if not better than a few of the gaming phones out there. To be very honest, playing Diablo Immortal has been one of the most taxing things I could do on any device, and there was hardly any lag or frame rate drops when it came to this phone. PUBG Mobile benefited from the increased frame rate, but more importantly for me was this phone did not heat up that much. It did get warm, but I still could plow through about 4 hours of playing without feeling like my hands were being cooked. And games like Pokemon Unite actually played really well on this phone. Animations were fluid. Even in games like Diablo Immortal, when you were being swarmed by enemies, you hardly saw any frame rate drop or even stuttering, which was really amazing for me. Most importantly for me, when it came to this device, was multitasking, which I did mention was a dream, and it did it really well. The biggest highlight came from software optimization. Aside from the game mode that comes in the phone, Samsung has also made One UI 6.1 a lot lighter on the phone itself. You don't really see animations or the interface itself bogging down the phone anymore. In fact, It's so fluid, I think it can give a lot of the other optimized interfaces based on Android 14 a run for its money. My best example of how Samsung has improved is the improvements Samsung has brought to its notifications shade. Literally, Samsung has made it more intuitive to turn your toggles and customize it from your notification shade. And on top of that, you have customizations where you can use Gemini, Google Assistant, or even Samsung's Bixby to get things done. You even have routines that are built in any Android device, but Samsung has upped the ante a little bit with a little bit more customizability. But my biggest highlight was actually being able to converse in Japanese with my friend over WhatsApp. Now, that is because of Samsung's Galaxy AI's translate feature. On certain apps, in this case it was WhatsApp, you'll be able to automatically translate your conversations with your other person in multiple languages. So in this case, because my friend was not using a Samsung device with Galaxy AI, I actually translated what I wanted to say into Japanese. And she replied in Japanese as well. Basically now, without this phone, if I open that WhatsApp conversation, I can't understand it because it's completely in Japanese. And it's amazing how this works. It literally is a simple fact of just typing in what I want to say, sending it over, and Galaxy AI just overlays the English translation on her replies in the app natively. So you don't have to do much to get it to work. Of course, for now, it's limited to a handful of apps, one of which is WhatsApp. I tried using this on Telegram, it did not work. The other thing that I actually enjoyed using was the translate feature when it comes to audio. You can use the phone as a translator, either in person or over call. And basically what you do is you speak in your native language and it will translate it to whatever language you want it to, convey the message to the person on the other side, and wait for the other person to reply and translate it back into your language. I know it sounds a little bit convoluted, but if you're going overseas, like if I were to go to Barcelona, and I needed to communicate in Spanish, this is a lifesaver. The one thing that really stood out to me, like when I was messaging my friend in Japanese, there was a point in our conversation when Galaxy AI suddenly changed the tone in which it was sending messages. So when I was talking to her initially, it was a really formal tone. Halfway through, suddenly it turned colloquial. And she was like, "Are you changing the way you are feeding your information into Galaxy AI?" And it just changed the tone in which I was communicating with her, which is mind-blowing. But since we're talking about Galaxy AI, majority of Galaxy AI's features involve camera. The one that I use the most is Circle to Search. Now, I was using this on a near daily basis, initially just to figure out whether it would work in any condition. But then I realized, like, when I wanted to know something off the cuff, or if I saw something that interested me, Circle to Search actually came in pretty handy. Since we're on the cameras, Samsung's improvements to the cameras in the S24 Ultra are nothing short of revolutionary, at least when it comes to Galaxy devices. Now, Samsung is using a larger 200 megapixel sensor paired with a 50 megapixel sensor, a 10 megapixel sensor, and a 12 megapixel sensor. Now, the biggest difference from previous generations is that 3 of these 4 sensors actually come with optical zoom. The 200 megapixel sensor comes with 2x zoom, the 50 megapixel sensor comes with a 5x zoom, while the 10 megapixel sensor comes with a 3x zoom. And because there are 3 optical zooms in this, we're able to get higher quality zoomed in pictures. Even when you go up to like 20 times zoom, it's still pretty crisp. You can even use this to do moonshots. Now, of course, there was a little bit of controversy here and there, but the clarity in which that you get with these cameras is astounding. So Galaxy AI also plays a really big part when it comes to camera performance. I realized this when I was doing a little small photo shoot for my friend. I was supposed to shoot her book and the tarot cards, and we did it in a relatively low light environment. Galaxy AI was able to detect the background that it was being shot in and the contrast in the card's art itself, and optimize the picture of just me pressing the shutter button. There was literally no need for me to go in and manually adjust the picture. And because I was doing this in 200 megapixel, she had the freedom to edit it and move things around if she wanted it to. Now, since we're talking about editing and removing things from pictures, Galaxy AI also allows you to remove things from any picture. Like literally, you can remove a human in your perfect shot and it will fill it in. Or if you want to replace something, you can actually use generative fill and it will fill in the item that you want to remove. So it's amazing how Galaxy AI is changing how we use our phones. I'm excited to see how AI is going to affect how we use our phones overall. But let's be serious. You're not going to be using Galaxy AI 100% of the time. To be very honest, aside from Circle to Search, I found myself using Galaxy AI once or maybe twice a week at most. It's a nice to have, like anytime I want to edit pictures or anytime I want to find out more, get things done quickly, it's there to help. But overall, I think AI is going to change the way we use our phones. Most importantly, Galaxy AI also plays a part in keeping One UI more power efficient. This smartphone is one of Samsung's best when it comes to battery life in the past few years. I was able to get at least 13 hours battery life off a single charge. I found myself going back with around 40 to 50% battery after every day. And with quick charge, I was able to top up within like half an hour. That said, even if I didn't charge it, the next day I could last at least half a day on that single charge. Even when I was gaming for long periods of time, I got at least 6 hours of gaming on the smartphone itself. To be honest, it is one of Samsung's best phones in the past few years. And I will say this willingly, I am still excited about this phone. I'm excited about Galaxy AI. I'm excited on how Samsung's going to change the smartphone interface and user experience with Galaxy AI. And this is just a taste of it. There you have it. This is our semi-long-term review of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. How did it last over the 1 month? Well, as you can tell, pretty amazingly. And I don't mind recommending this phone. And it's worth that 7,000 ringgit you're about to spend, just because of how Samsung has improved software and imbued Galaxy AI into the smartphone. So if you want more content from techENT, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Jeevan. This is techENT, and we will see you in the next one.